Hello, and welcome to Danny's Diaries, a new podcast in which I share my inner thoughts that I should just be jotting down somewhere and forgetting about, but instead I'm documenting it for the entire internet to hear. Now, if you are new here, my name is Danny, and I primarily make weight loss, lifestyle type content when I do make content. But I have a lot of thoughts, a lot of opinions, and it just really wasn't fitting with the vlog format. So I will have new vlogs up soon, but in the meantime, I got a lot of thoughts and I want to rant, and I just thought, you know what? Let me just sit down and talk with you guys. So that's really going to be the vibe of this. If anybody is enjoying and likes these, that's kind of going to be the vibe going forward. It's just chill. I want this to feel like a FaceTime with your friend, or like when your friend sends you like a nice long voice message and it's like your own personal podcast. Yeah, that's the vibe. So get comfy, grab a snack, and let's just bitch, because life is tough and we need to let it out, girls. So if you happen to like your time here, I appreciate being here. So yeah, I appreciate very much you being here, and if you happen to like your stay, please consider subscribing, liking, commenting. Especially commenting. Any feedback is greatly appreciated because I don't know what I'm doing. So let's just get right on into it. So let's just dive right into today's topic, which is planning a wedding, specifically planning a wedding in chaotic times. Now, things are real crazy right now. I think I'm preaching to the choir when I say that. I think anywhere in the world it's crazy. In America, it's crazy for a plethora of reasons. And trying to plan a wedding feels like, I'm not gonna lie, kind of feels like a joke. It kind of feels like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? It's like painting the inside of your home really beautifully and then looking outside and it's just on fire. It's like, why are we doing, you know what I mean? Like, what's the point? But the point is that, human beings have been getting married for thousands of years through famines, through revolutions, through war, through bubonic plagues. Humans have continued to have these celebrations. And you know what? It is important you know, to have these moments in celebration of something positive, like two people who love each other, who are deciding to spend their lives together. That's an exciting, beautiful thing. And even though it does seem trivial in the grand scheme of things, it's still a beautiful thing that I'm very grateful for. And that's kind of my mentality going into wedding planning. It's just like, I'm very lucky, I'm very privileged, and this is a really exciting time. I'm really not subscribing to this end of the world mentality when it comes to this wedding, because guess what? It kind of actually is the end of the world, and when you zoom out for a second and get some perspective, it really is like important, but not that important. You know what I mean? Like, I'm more scared of a lot of other things happening in life right now than like if the florist shows up with the wrong color flowers. Like, at the end of the day, we will all, breathe. If a mushroom cloud goes off, you know what I mean? Like, then we gotta be worried. But this isn't really something I'm like worrying about. I mean, I'm worried, but like, this isn't really something that I'm like worried. Just to give you some context of where I'm at. I'm not trying to be annoying, and I'm not trying to be that girl who's like, well, I'm not stressed. So like, why is everybody stressed? Like, I get it. It is stressful, and that's what I want to talk about today. But I just want to give the context. I don't want it to be like, girl, read the room, because like real stress is happening. You know what I mean? And when you think about, again, how kind of trivial it is planning a wedding, and yes, it is stressful, and yes, it is all these things, but it's not literal World War III like we are kind of experiencing. So, perspective. Um, but I would be this way even if it was peaceful times, to be honest with you, because I'm just like, whatever. Um, and to give you, so before we get into the real bitching, okay, because I want to make this very clear, because that may have, You may be going, oh, I don't know if I. Hear me out. This is not going to be directed at brides. This is not going to be directed at like aesthetic choices or like colors or dresses or themes or anything like that. This has nothing to do. I'm not trying to yuck anyone's yum, because you know what, at the end of the day, no matter what I feel or anybody else feels, it's your day and you should have it go exactly how you want it. And who the hell am I to say differently? So we're not going to be bitching about that. We're going to be bitching about the system as a whole, okay? And I have a very big issue with double standards, and I know we don't live in an even world, and I know we don't live in an equal world, but as long as I got to say in what I got to do, I'm not subscribing to this bullshit, okay? And just because I'm a woman doesn't mean that I have to freaking lose my head of hair over a damn wedding. Now, so this is going to be more directed at the expectations that are put on brides, and these are very unrealistic standards that are set, and my issue with all of them. So yeah, that's kind of why I'm giving the perspective thing, because again, I could be bitching about a lot of things right now that are way more important to most people, but this is what I'm choosing to bitch about today, okay? Because you're just literally sold this dream wedding idea, and it's a literal scam. It is a scam, okay? And I thought, because my background with weddings, which I think this is important, I grew up, or I am Italian American, okay? So, like most cultures, there is a, template in which you follow for weddings. And everybody in my family has followed that template. It's a lot of people. It's like a 3-4 day event. It's, you have it at the banquet. You have this. It's like everybody follows the same thing, and they're beautiful. They are beautiful, beautiful weddings. I'm not denying that. Okay, but growing up, having gone to so many weddings, having stood in so many weddings, I've been the maid of honor now twice. And that's a privilege. But I have seen all of the work that goes into these weddings, and for me, personally for me, not worth it. Not worth it. It's a few hours. It goes by like this. I mean, I've never even gotten married before, and I know because I've gone to so many weddings. And I obviously it's different when it's yours. Okay, that's like saying I babysat so many children. I know what it's like to take care of children. It's like it's different than being a parent, obviously, but you get the general idea. You get the general gist of how the pacing goes and what happens and blah blah. So for me, I have never been one of those people who have dreamt of their wedding their entire lives. I honestly didn't even think I was ever going to get married. I thought if I ever got married, it would just be like an Anna Nicole Smith situation. If like I happened to stumble upon a 97-year-old man who had a lot of freaking money, and I had to sign some papers to get that money. I mean, like, sorry, I hate to say it, but like in my early 20s, that was kind of like, if I ever get rich, that's probably why. You know what I mean? And then I met Elliot and things changed. And I was like, oh, this is what everybody was going on about. Like, this is nice. This is okay. And then, maturity and stuff like that. My frontal lobe developed. But, and I'm not saying your choice in whether you want to get married or not doesn't determine anything about maturity or anything like that. But, for me personally, I feel like when I started to grow up a little bit, I was like, actually, no, I want a family. I want to settle down and I want to get married. But the wedding portion of it never appealed to me. So, again, that is just me. And I'm not trying to talk crap about people who have been dreaming about it and everything, because I think it's 10 times worse if you have been dreaming about your perfect day for so long and then you start to plan it and you realize this is a scam. This one goes out to you guys, because I'm somebody who's never even really wanted this shit, and I'm like, this is bullshit. So I can't even imagine how much harder it'd be and how much more intense that feeling would be when you're actually doing it. So personally, I believe there are 4 main pillars, if you will, that are ruining weddings completely. And they are money, finances, family and friends. I'm going to go there. social media and society at large, okay? And I want to get into all four of those and why I think, and what aspects they're just completely ruining weddings, okay? Number one, finances. Now, I think we all know weddings are freaking expensive. That was not a shock to me when we started planning this, right? I don't think it would be a shock. Maybe some of the prices are a damn shock. But I don't think it's a shock to anybody who's, considering getting married at some point in the near future, that weddings or have just planned a wedding, that weddings are expensive, right? But they are insanely expensive, okay? Even from when I remember I stood up, I was the maid of honor for my best friend's wedding, 8 years ago. Oh my god. That's sick. That's sick and twisted. So the average wedding price in the US right now is $30,000. And when I first heard that, I was like, that's insane. Like, that's insane. And then you start talking to people and really doing some digging, and you realize that's not I mean, it says it's the average, but from the average that I was getting from everybody that I met, anybody that has gotten married in the last 10 years, I'm like, how much did you spend on your wedding? Like, I'm annoying like that, and I probably shouldn't be saying that to people, but girl, I gotta know. I gotta know. I don't phrase it just like that. A few people I did, but I gotta know. Is it me? Am I looking at the wrong things? And a lot of people have been honest, and it's, from what I'm hearing from around in Metro Detroit, you're averaging 60 to 80 for a 200 person wedding, 250 person wedding. You're averaging around 60 to 80 grand. Pardon? And the people who were telling me this, and I was like, I didn't know you had money like that. What the hell? Where are you getting this money? And then I understand parents, will gift a lot of the times, or people, then the other explanation is, or they go into debt. What do you mean they go into debt? They have a $60,000 credit card limit? Am I outing myself, or is that insane, right? Is that insane? And especially all these young people are I'm 30. I'm going to be 31 in a few weeks. Ew. I hear, 10 grand for a wedding, and I'm like, that's a lot of money. You know what I mean? It's a dinner. It's a dinner and some drinks and a DJ and some flowers. Why the frick is it, 60 grand? Insanity. And then the locations of them. I just don't know. And obviously how people are affording it is none of my business. But the problem is that it's now the standard. It's a standard to spend at least 30 grand on a wedding. Why? It's one day. I get it. The most important day of your life. But cheese and rice. Can we scale it to maybe how much we make per year or something? And I know you don't have to spend that amount of money, but even if you want the most basic of basic, just a nice day, you're still talking 20 plus. Okay? It's insanity. Okay? And I feel like I'm preaching to the choir with that, because it's not just weddings that are insanely priced now. Groceries, everything. Everything is insanely priced, right? So, again, I understand. But we're not just existing to get married. We also have bills. We also are wanting to buy land maybe one day. Oh, what a dream. I would love a first family home. And we both work. We both have full-time jobs. I got my degree, you know what I mean? And it's signs of the time. But the thing is that nobody cares that you're broke. They're still expecting a 60 grand wedding. And to that I say, shut up, or take out your damn checkbook and write me a check if that's your freaking attitude, okay? That's what I want to and I'll be completely transparent, we're both be getting gifted a set amount. Our family sat us down and they were like, we're gifting you X amount of money to put towards wedding. And we were both like, okay, so how much can we afford out of pocket? Because I didn't have a set vision of like how I expected things to go, I was like, how can I make our wedding personable and what we want, but not going into generational debt over, right? I already did that with student loans, so I really don't need to be adding a wedding on top of that. So so we sat down and we figured out, okay, what can we afford? How much can we afford? And what is that going to look like within our budget? And we realized we still wanted, an elegant, nice wedding. However, we were not going to be able to have a 200-person wedding. We were not even going to be able to have a 150-person wedding. We were going to be able to have an 80 to 90-person wedding, probably around 80 people. And that's what we could afford. That was within our budget, and that was within our budget, within our means, and that was still giving us the wedding that we both want, right? Which is, we picked a venue with good ass food, good ass drinks. We picked a ceremony location. We both picked ceremony and reception locations that literally you could just show up and bare minimum, it'd be beautiful. That's what I wanted. Because now I know dinner's going to be freaking good. Drinks are going to be good. It's going to be beautiful no matter what. I have nothing to worry about in that sense, right? However, it's still expensive. It's still a pretty penny. So yes, there is work to be done. But like, I've decided I'm not getting a florist, because guess what? I was asking everybody, how much do you pay for flowers? Getting quoted for flowers. It was $7 to $10,000 for flowers. Again, not judging anybody who's spending that much, because that is the average. But why are you charging that much? I don't have an issue with people spending their money however they want to spend their money. That, God bless, you do you. That's not my business. However, if it's above average, if you're getting, like roses flown in from the south of France or something, like, sure, go for it. But like, regular ass flowers, $10,000. Okay, no, I'll figure it out myself. I'll figure it out. I'm becoming a florist. I almost thought about becoming a DJ just because I was like, I'll freaking mix it myself. Damn. I'll get back in the kitchen and roll up my sleeves if you need me to. I'll make some freaking pasta. But you also don't want to cut corners and then it be, not the greatest. So it's like finding that happy medium. I had to figure out what I wanted and what I wanted to prioritize. And let me tell you, most of the shit that people are spending a lot of money on, I'm not doing all that. My invitation didn't do save the dates because there's 80 people there. If you can't remember the date, just text me. Like, the people that we're inviting, aunts, uncles, cousins, a few close friends. That's it. That is it. There's no, mom and dad's old neighbor down in the old house and no, we're not doing that shit. No. So, I have a huge family. Elliot does not. That kind of worked out. And that's it. We wanted it intimate. We wanted it, more romantic, and it also could not afford a 200-person wedding, so we're not going to have a 200-person wedding. You don't want to start. This is, again, I want to reiterate, this is supposed to be a happy time. This is supposed to be the one positive thing, not the one positive thing, but like one of the positive things going on in life. To add all of this extra stress and bullshit is just, it's just not worth it to me. Again, to me. So yeah, I just think so many people are getting away with murder with what they're charging. These banquet halls, yeah, we're not going to include tables and chairs, but we're going to charge you $20,000 just to have it here. That's not including food, drink, photographer, DJ, and then you got to buy all the decor if you're going for one of those. Lighting. Why am I paying you $20,000? That's insane. That is insane. Why am I paying your year's mortgage on one Saturday? Kiss my ass. Like, that's the issue that I have. It's not for the people who spend that amount of money, because if that's what you want, that's how much you got to spend, right? But why are you charging that much? You're the scammer. You're part of the problem. So yeah, again, I don't know if I'm trying to give advice right now, because again, you do you, but like, I think it's a bullshit lie. I think it's a bullshit lie. Okay, a lot of it is. So second thing is family and friends. Now, this is a touchy one, I know. This isn't really about my family, because in all honesty, I hear things, in one, I have the memory of a goldfish and forget. And two, I don't really take much personally. I hear people's tone of voice. I hear what people say. I can read between the lines. And honestly, I don't care. I don't care. You can think you're slick. You can think you're, passive aggressive. Again, don't care. I'm going to play dumb and forget in 2 seconds anyway. So, I guess we both suck. I am very grateful. I have a family who, I have a big family who's very excited, who's, I have a family who is excited and wants to be a part of it and wants to celebrate and wants to help. And I'm very grateful, and I'm very happy for that. And I have friends too who are just excited to celebrate and everything like that. Very grateful for that, and I'm not talking shit about them. However, it does bring out some interesting characteristics of people, which is very weird. Now, this is probably the most major thing I've done in my life. I don't know how I feel about that. It took me like 10 years to graduate college, so when I graduated, I kind of was just like, yep, I graduated. Like, not with my doctorate. No, I should have my doctorate for how long I was in school, but yeah, so I kind of just did that under the radar. And yeah, this is probably the biggest thing that I've done and shared with people. And again, we're not having a huge wedding, but it's something. And I really just seeing sides to people that I'm like, interesting, noted. Shit, I've completely lost a friendship over it. No, not over it, and there was a lot of other things going on, but when I got engaged, they started acting weird, and I was like, you know what? No, I'm not doing this. I especially at this time in my life, absolutely not. I have worked too damn hard to protect my peace, and there is not a soul on earth who is going to ruin it for me, okay? And I know my future children will, because I can imagine as a parent, you're constantly worrying about your kids, and they definitely disrupt your peace. But they're the only people on earth that are going to be worth it for me to lose my peace over. No one else. Your toxic ass, negative ass bullshit, you can keep that to yourself. Okay? You can have fun at your own pity party. I'm not coming. I don't care. And so yeah, I'm like, no, like I'm not, I see people, it's not an argument I'm going to have. It's not an argument I'm going to have. It's not something that I'm like, you need to change this because I'm getting married. That's not how I am. But it does kind of give you a different lens all of a sudden, and you're like, huh. And I don't think it's just getting married. I think you can experience it multiple times in your life. It's just when people you don't expect, your family you expect to show up for you, and maybe they don't show up perfectly, maybe they aren't the most supportive, maybe they don't know the best things to say, okay? That doesn't mean that they don't care, that they're not trying. But there are people who are intentional, and there are people who are intentional with their negativity, and there are people who, as much as they are clapping for you, they're also sticking their foot out to trip you at the same time. And it's like, I'm good. Actually, I'm really good on that one. And yeah, call me a bridezilla, call me a bitch, call me whatever, but like, don't care. Like, I'm not having, I can understand if you're negative or you're a certain way because I'm marrying, a Scandinavian prince who's scamming me out of thousands of dollars a month. Like, then step up and maybe be a little bit like, hey, what the hell are you doing, girl? I haven't had anybody be like, don't get married, but it's just like this, like, it's pissing on the parade. It's people who like to piss on the parade. They have a kink for pissing on parades, and guess what? I'm not giving you the opportunity to show up to the parade. Get the hell out of here. You are escorted off the property, bitch. I don't freaking want it. And that's just how it is. You know, there's also like cultural expectations. There's, you know, I grew up Catholic. There's expectations of getting married in a Catholic church. Guess what? As an adult, I don't practice Catholicism. Again, you do you. That's what you like to practice. That's your choice, how you go about your spirituality. My choice, how I go about my spirituality. I've always wanted to get, if I did get married, I wanted it to be outside because I find my spirituality awakens the most when I'm outdoors. When I'm in nature, that's when I feel closest to God. My version of God is when I'm outdoors. Elliot feels the same, so we wanted to get married outside. Anybody who has an issue with us not getting married in the Catholic Church hasn't made it clear to me. They haven't said anything to me. Maybe they've said things behind my back. I'm sure they have, but guess what? Don't care. If you have an issue with it, take it up with God. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not going to change my wedding just because you don't approve. No. So the third issue is social media. Now, again, I think a lot of these issues are pretty... I don't think you have to be planning a wedding to know that these are probably issues that go into planning a wedding and things that add unnecessary pressure for no reason. But social media has been interesting. Now, I'm somebody who I would say I'm pretty chronically online. I have been most of my life. And, of course, I see a lot of discourse on, like, bridal TikTok and Reddit and stuff like that. And the thing that I'm seeing is this constant need to be like one classier than the other. You cannot show a shred of originality because then it is trendy and it's cringy and it's not timeless, and that means it's tacky. Interesting perspective, right? And, you know, it goes into a bigger issue with, I think, just Gen Z and this fear of not conforming and, like, everybody has to be the same and everybody has to do the same, but, like, you don't want to do the same because you want to be the one person that everybody follows, but, like, not being brave enough to be a trendsetter. So it's a lot of copying going on in a way that's, like, don't copy me, but, like, nothing's original, but, like, I don't know. It's just like trying way too hard to one up the girls on social on Instagram. It's just a one up thing, and it's like at the end of the day, we have all seen a wedding. You can only make it so special. And if you're killing yourself over being the most special wedding and the most timeless and the most classy wedding anyone's ever been to, I can tell you right now, no one's gonna give a shit. Like, people are either gonna say, that was a nice wedding, that was a fun wedding, that was a bad wedding. No one's gonna sit there and go, the effortlessness of the chicness of the... Oh my god, and did you see the champagne tower? And they used, oh yes, they used fresh champagne and they flew it in from a helicopter. Shut up, no one like, literally, you're the only person who cares. And again, if that's what you want, God bless. Do what you want. But if you're sitting here like, no, I have to be the next big, best, trendiest wedding, but without being trendy, I have to be the trendsetter. Everybody's gonna want and envy my wedding. What? Why do you... What? No one, like, you know what I mean? Just do what you want to do. It's so annoying. And first of all, I hate this type of discourse anyway, where it's like, so what's the shoe we're buying for the fall? What shoes are we wearing for the fall? What jeans is everybody wearing? Go to the store and find a pair of jeans that look good on you and go home. What are we wearing? We're not a mind. We gotta get out of this hive mentality here. Who cares? Who cares if somebody looks at your wedding photo and goes, oh, that's so 2026? Because it is. Because you had it, your wedding in 2026. you're trying so hard to not to be original and to be whatever that it's coming across just like bland and boring, and just it has the opposite effect. You know what I mean? You're trying so hard to be, I don't know what the word is, clean, aesthetic. I can't stand any of that shit. Be loud, be obnoxious, express yourself. This is a one time. You should walk into someone's wedding and have an idea of who they are as a couple. And when I walk into a wedding and I see the same damn. Okay, I am going to complain about one thing aesthetically, okay? I'm going to complain about it because it really is my biggest pet peeve. And I'm sorry, I'm going to offend a lot of people when I say this, but that fuck ass font. Get it away from me. Everything. Bride. I said this to my sister one time sitting at her house, and right behind me she had an LED of her last name from her wedding, and she had it in that font, and I was like, maybe I should shut up. But it's like, is that my only option? You're not getting anything. I'm having the most fun. I'm making all the decor for my wedding. I'm going to do my flowers. And guess what? Is anybody going to walk in there and go, oh, did you have the same florist as the royal family? Because these flowers are beautiful. Is anyone going to say that? No, they're not. But it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right, you know? Comparison is the thief of joy. And if you're constantly comparing yourself, and this doesn't even just apply to wedding, it applies to everything, but especially weddings, right? Just do whatever the hell you want to do. And that brings us into our fourth point, which is society. Now, I kind of already got into this with saying there's like a lack of originality. There's a lack of accepting original ideas or things that are different or things that aren't the status quo, unless it like goes off without a hitch. And there's this fear of, if I step outside of the box and it's not perfect, I'm a target instantly. It's like, go ahead then, shoot me with your judgment. What the fuck do I care? I'm gonna show up to my wedding and it's gonna be exactly how I want it to be. And if you show up to my wedding and it's not exactly how you want it to be, guess who doesn't give a shit? Me. Guess who didn't lose sleep over guests showing up to a wedding and going, I don't like it. Go home then. The less eyes on me, the better. There's just so much pressure, and this pressure society puts specifically on women, yes, but any gender who's doing the main portion of their wedding planning. There's just so much unrealistic pressure, and it's like, for what? The day only needs to be special for the bride and the groom. And yes, it needs to be a nice guest experience, but I'm sure if you're trying, and I'm sure if you're putting in effort, and I'm sure if you care a little bit, that is going to take you farther than stressing out about, the wax seal on the envelope. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, don't, And there's also this expectation that you have to be stressed. I'm not that stressed, and people look at me like, then you don't care about your wedding. Like, that's nice. That's really, you should be stressed out right now. And it's like, you're the problem. You're part of the problem. You don't have to suffer. You don't have to, I'm looking at my notes on my phone. You don't have to suffer. You don't have to just chill and just go through it. And there's also this, again with the expectations, but there's a lot of this like if-then expectations where it's like, if you do things a certain way, then this will happen. If you don't have X, Y, and Z, then it'll be a shit wedding. If you do this, it'll be a good wedding. And it's like, here's the thing. You can do everything right and you could still have a shit day. You can do everything wrong and have a great day. That is determined by you and your mindset and your approach to the wedding. That has nothing to do with the financial amount that you're going to put into the wedding, the amount of work, sweat, and tears, that has nothing to do with it. That has everything to do with you and your approach and your mindset going into it. And if your mindset is, it's only going to be perfect if I have X, Y, and Z and the whole damn alphabet in order, in the exact way that I want it, and if anything's out of place, I will be a monster. That is a choice that you're making. I hate to say it. I'm not trying to shame anybody, because again, you should have the day that you want and you should have everything that you want. But at the end of the day, are the expectations you're setting for yourself, or are they set for you by other people? And if it's something that you at your core don't care about, don't stress about it. If it's something that you want, then work towards it, then work on it. You know what I mean? But it's something that you have a fucking little bitch in your ear telling you, it's gotta be this, it's gotta be that. You know, what are they gonna think on Instagram? Who the hell cares what they think on Instagram? Let those bitches talk. Let those bitches talk. God. And they're gonna talk for a second and they're gonna move on with their life. Even if it's an atrocity, it's like, again, enjoy yourself. Like, maybe my approach is to, I don't know, you guys can tell me, but I really have never been afraid to be a bitch, and I think that's just a disconnect that I see with some people. I'm not trying to be like, I'm this bad bitch, and, you know, I do things my way, no one tells me shit, you know, but I kind of am, you know what I mean? I kind of am. And it's just, I really am not burdened by the expectations of others. I really never have been. So I think that's just where I kind of came into this wedding planning, and I was like, hold up, what the hell is going on here? Who the hell made up these freaking rules? This is annoying. And then the whole bullshit of, oh, the guys just get to show up. They get to wear a tie and they get to show up, and I'm just going to be stressed off my ass, and I'm going to lose a bunch of weight and lose my hair because I'm freaking stressed about this wedding, but you get to just show. Kiss my ass. If I'm stressed, everybody in a 10-mile radius around me is going to be stressed. I am like a nuclear explosion when I'm stressed, okay? So I think it's best that I keep my composure, I keep perspective, and I tell people to fuck off when I need to. Alright? And I think you shouldn't be afraid to either. So yeah, just do you. Do what makes you happy, and everything will be great. You'll have a great day. And I'm excited for you. And yeah, I'm going to wrap it up there. But I want to just, again, thank you so much for being here. And yeah, let me know if you enjoyed, if you want to hear what topics you'd like me to cover coming up. And yeah, I'd love to hear from you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.